Hello my friends and welcome back to my channel. My name is Tiffany and in today's video I am taking you through 4th of July decorating here in my home over the years, and also some fun party preps, some snack ideas, and hopefully you get inspired as we are approaching this fun holiday here in the States. If you don't live in the States, hopefully you just get some fun decorating and relaxing video here, but I hope that you guys have a beautiful 4th of July this year, and I hope you enjoy this patriotic marathon. I'll see you in the next one, my friends.
We're going to get started by placing this adorable hand-drawn, hand-painted Uncle Sam from my sweet friend on Instagram, Stacy Taylor Moore. Absolutely stunning piece. I love it so much. And then of course we just have to bring in a couple of flags. I got a lot of comments on my first video about staining my little flags to give them a little bit more of a vintage look, and that's definitely a good idea. I've seen Mother Time do that, Jen. If you don't check out her channel, or if you don't watch her channel, I definitely recommend it. However, I'm feeling that next year I may want to go a little bit more coastal and do more of a coastal Americana vibe. So I don't want to make anything look too vintage because that definitely won't go with the coastal vibe. So we'll see what happens, but definitely is a good recommendation. I'm also going to go ahead and add this adorable bow garland that I picked up this year at Michael's. It's one of the few new things that I bought this year. I definitely have not grown my Americana decor this season because I am really wanting to do a coastal summer vibe here in my home. So not wanting to purchase a lot more Americana things because I would like to get a few more coastal things. So make sure you stay tuned because that's what we're going to be putting up after we're done with all of this festive 4th of July decor. I know a lot of you talked about how you leave this up all summer long until Labor Day, and I can absolutely see that. I think it would be stunning, but I'm looking forward to switching it up. I'm adding this blue striped pillow from Antique Farmhouse here to my little antique chair. Absolutely love it. And I'm also bringing back the blue pillows to my sofa. These are from Target this year. They are my favorite throw pillow I've ever bought. And that other block print pillow is also from Target. And that cottage lumbar pillow is from Antique Farmhouse. I love it. Here to my coffee table, I'm going to keep things pretty much the same. That tray is from Target, and that pedestal there is actually from Scranton's Shops, my favorite antique shop. It is handmade. And I picked up these blue books there as well. I'd like to get some more for my home for both the Americana decor and the coastal decor later. And I'm also going to bring in this little antique pitcher and these adorable little flag plates from Hobby Lobby. This candle hurricane is a new find this season from Walmart. I am obsessed with it. It is so beautiful and I feel like it looks so high end. And you guys, this was less than $10. What a steal. I will have it linked for you down in the description box, but I feel like this was such a find this season, and I just added in a sand and fog candle from TJ Maxx and love how that turned out. I'm going to go ahead and add some vintage flags here. These are from Browns & Hopkins, my favorite little general store down in Chepachet, Rhode Island. And I'm just adding it to a little vignette I had here from the spring with the shoe form and that beautiful antique scale. I love those. And right now it just has the nest still up top because I'm not sure what else to put there, but I have my eyes out for something. And then I found these adorable vintage bingo cards at Crompton Collective down in Worcester, Mass. And I absolutely love those. I have wanted some bingo cards for years. We're going to go ahead and move over into my coffee bar now. That little fireworks stand is a cute little decor piece I picked up at Michael's a few years ago. And I'm also going to add in, of course, some more flags. I've got another one of those galvanized metal little pitchers from Hobby Lobby. I told you before, I love those. They just bring in good color and they're easy to add decor to. So just adding that here to this shelf. That little faux plant there that's coming out of the crock, that's from Michael's. That was a find in the spring and I love that. I've got another one of those over in my IKEA hutch and I think it's such a great little addition. Here to the other shelf, I am going to just kind of play around with the decor. I've got that beautiful picture there. That's from Antique Farmhouse, and I've got it filled with some faux snowball viburnum. I think those are from Michael's. And then I have this beautiful little flag picture. Again, this one is from Michael's a couple of years ago. And I'm going to bring back that beautiful glass canister. That's from Hobby Lobby. And I've got it filled with some copper measuring spoons. Those are from Antique Farmhouse. And then I've got these beautiful little flag salt and pepper shakers from Hobby Lobby. And I love how this turned out. This little plate rack is new this year. I got this from Amazon, and this was a recommendation from Jen over at Mother Time. She showed this, and I loved it. I'm just going to add a couple of little plates here. It's already got some stacked there with some old spoons and a towel from Antique Farmhouse. And then I've got this cute little flag heart. This is from Hobby Lobby 100 years ago, but I just think it's cute and brings in a little bit of charm. And the last little bit of decor we're going to bring in are these beautiful gingham coffee mugs. These are from Target from the Threshold line. I did buy these last spring, I believe. These are some of my absolute favorites. I think they're beautiful and they look so nice hanging here under this shelf. Those are just little hooks I picked up at Walmart, and this just brings in such cute little charm to the coffee bar. That's going to be it for the decor. Let's go ahead and take a walk around and look at how it all turned out. Thank you guys so much for joining me in today's video. I am so in love with how the 2025 Americana decor turned out this year. I think it's very fresh and just the right amount of touch to bring in some of that spirit for the holiday. If you enjoyed this video, I'd love for you to consider giving it a big thumbs up. And if you aren't subscribed, I would love to have you subscribe and come back for more. I post new videos every week. I try to post 3 to 4 new videos. So lots of content coming your way all season long. And hopefully I'll get to see you in the next one. Take care, my friends. We're going to go ahead and get started here on my little IKEA hutch by removing all of the current cabbageware and the tulips. It is time for them to go, obviously. And we're going to start here at the top. I did pick up this Home of the Brave picture from Michael's. This is a recent purchase. I literally grabbed this earlier this week. And I'm also going to bring in these cute little painted spindles. I picked these up on Antique Farmhouse last year, I believe, maybe the year before. I think it was last year. They're really, really cute. And that little picture that they're in is from Hobby Lobby. They always have them. I actually have multiple of them because I love that they're easy to just pop in on any shelf and they bring in such great color. For the next shelf, I am starting off by adding these beautiful scalloped plates from Magnolia, and I'm leaving the eggs. This is here in my dining room, so it feels like it's fitting. It's right next to my kitchen. And I'm bringing in this Old Glory wooden sign. I will tell you that things do change a little, so make sure you stay tuned to the end to see the final images because things do kind of shift a little bit. But I am also bringing in these really beautiful blue stems that I picked up at Hobby Lobby this year. I think they're really pretty and they just bring in that beautiful little blue touch for this time of year. And these wooden flags here, these burlap flags on a wooden stem, these are from Tommy Bahama. I grabbed these last year, I believe, at Home Goods, and I just think they're a perfect little rustic touch when you need to bring in a flag. The next shelf, I'm going to start by removing that antique tin, and I'm now going to bring in this wooden and metal flag. This is actually from Big Lots, although I will tell you that they are now closed, unfortunately. But this is an adorable little flag. It is metal, like I said, but it does have that beautiful wooden frame. And on the next shelf, I'm bringing in another one of those Tommy Bahama flags. So pretty. And I'm leaving majority of the decor here. I love how full and beautiful these shelves are. Such a great place for me to showcase all the different antiques I've picked up over the past couple of years, majority of which are from my favorite antique shop, Scranton Shops in Woodstock, Connecticut. You guys know I talk about them all the time. Majority of my antique finds come from there. These little faux wooden fireworks are from Etsy. I love them. I love that they're vintage looking. I picked them up last year, and if I can find a link for them, I'll make sure that they're linked for you down below. But they just add in such a fun little vintage touch. And we're also going to just bring in a little bit more decor over here on this antique milk holder. I love this. I wanted to put a flag inside that little milk container. However, I couldn't get the top off. It's like a cork, and it is stuck in there, you guys. Let me tell you, I tried, but it is definitely not coming out. So I just added it here, and I think it still looks great. And bringing in flags is such a very simple way to bring in beautiful color. One final touch in this area is this beautiful antique flag that I'm adding to an antique crock. Absolutely love this. I also have these beautiful snowball viburnum stems. These are from Hobby Lobby and they just look so beautiful. We're going to move over into the kitchen now. We're going to start off with my little pie safe. This is from Antique Farmhouse. I love to decorate this. It's perfect to bring in decor for all seasons. I've got that little wooden flag, which I believe is from Hobby Lobby, as well as that little July 4th sign. And I picked up this sweet little match holder. This is from Browns and Hopkins, which is a local little general store where I love to buy home decor. I put little flag picks in it. Those I think are also from Hobby Lobby. And then I'm also adding in this little antique sheep toy or, figurine that I grabbed at Scranton Shops as well. I like it. I like the little rustic touch that it brings in. Honestly, no idea what it is, but it works. We're also going to move into the hutch now. This is one of my favorite places to decorate in my home. I'm going to go ahead and remove all the cabbageware, the green things, and just bring in touches of Americana. This little coffee tin is from Michael's. I think I got this last year or the year before. I know they have something very similar. I was in Michael's earlier this week, and they definitely had something very, very similar. And again, we're just going to bring in another flag. You're going to see lots of flags. Again, such an easy way to bring in color and touches of the holiday without needing to bring in loads of more decor. It works out perfectly. On this next shelf, again, I am removing the cabbageware again, and we're also just going to kind of switch things up, but leave things very, very similar because I really like the way that this looks. I love the antique scale. I love the oatmeal there on display. This little wicker basket that I have right here is from Target. It's from the Target Dollar Spot this spring. And I did actually grab it in a neutral color as well, thank goodness. And that little plant right there, that faux plant, was also from Target. And so we're just going to bring in this natural colored one and more of those blue stems from Hobby Lobby. I think it's so pretty. I do end up swapping the sides here, moving this side of the decor to the other side of the shelf because I wanted to add a flag, but I didn't want it right underneath the other flags. So just an easy way to switch things up while keeping them pretty much the same. On this next shelf here, I'm going to start by removing this little egg container, and we're going to bring in a sweet little sign from Hobby Lobby that says Home of the Brave. I have had this for probably 7 or 8 years, but I see something very similar, if not exactly the same, every year. And I just think it's really classic, and I love the font. It's really pretty. It's very rustic, and the size is perfect for shelf decor like this. And again, I'm going to swap the sides of things because I want to bring in, you guessed it, another flag. And I didn't want it directly underneath the one above it, so I'm just going to switch things around a little bit, which was fun. I've had things the same almost since I moved in. I've had this tiny little chair in the same spot, I think, since I moved in. I love it. But everything here that you're seeing is antique almost. So that little chair, the little copper tin, the little sifter right there that I'm moving, and this little crock, that's all antiques, and they just bring in so much charm and character and kind of add like a little bit of a story to your home. I love it. So we're going to leave most of this the same. I'm just going to add one final little flag to this little hutch area, and it's done. I love the way it looks. Moving to the other side of the counter, I'm going to add in some neutral colored mugs. These are from Walmart, and I've got this mug holder here from Antique Farmhouse. And of course, you guessed it, a flag. And then moving to the other side, I'm going to start by removing the cabbageware, fixing things here a little bit in this little basket. That basket there, the round basket, that is from Target. I've had that since I moved in as well. And then I'm also going to bring in this adorable United States tray. This is from the Target Dollar Spot a few years ago. I love this, and I think it brings in so much like color and charm. So I'm just leaning it up against my backsplash here, and I think it looks really, really great. And on the other side, we're going to add another flag, and don't you worry, we're going to add one more to the other side of the stove as well, because we got to have symmetry, right? And then last but not least, we're going to work on this pitcher here. This gorgeous tin pitcher is from Antique Farmhouse, and I've got some seeded eucalyptus in here with some cabbage roses from Michael's. And we're going to leave the seeded eucalyptus that my cat has chewed up. And we're going to add in some more of those beautiful blue stems. I love these, and they just bring in perfect color. And you guys, believe it or not, I didn't add a flag to this picture. Shocker, I know. The last area we're going to work on for part one of this Decorate With Me is my dining room table. And I've got this beautiful antique looking pitcher. No, this is a bucket. This is from Antique Farmhouse. And I love the distressed look and like how it looks like it's old and antique and like I found it on the side of the road somewhere. And I'm bringing in these blueberry stems. I don't remember where I got these. I feel like I got them at Michael's last year, and I love them. I don't know if they're actually they're not a blueberry, they're just blueberry. I don't know. They're probably some other name. I'm just going to call them blueberry stems, but they're not actual blueberries, as you can see. But they're so pretty. I love how floppy they are, and I'm folding them so that they're really low in the bucket and they're just kind of spilling out. It looks so pretty. I'm going to give you a close-up shot here at the end of how beautiful these stems are. I had these on my entryway last year and I adore them. So absolutely stunning. And of course, to just finish off this bucket, we're going to add one more of those Tommy Bahama flags, and I think it turns out absolutely beautiful. Stay tuned for final shots of the entire look. And that's going to bring us to the end of part 1 of my Americana Decorate With Me. I hope that you guys enjoyed this. I love how it all turned out. I feel like it's been a long time since I have fully decorated for a holiday or something. I don't think I've done it since I did for spring, and that was back in March. So really, really excited to have something fresh, and I think it turned out really, really beautiful. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, consider giving it a big thumbs up. I'd love to have you subscribe and come back for more. I post 4 new videos every single week, and I will see you in the next one. Take care, my friends.
Hello my friends, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Tiffany, and in today's video I'm going to be sharing with you a super quick, easy, and beautiful recipe for a patriotic trifle for any of your summer soirees this year. I'm so glad you're here. Let's go ahead and get started. For today's recipe, you only need a few simple things. 1, you're gonna need at least 14 ounces of pound cake. I am using the Sara Lee's frozen pound cake today. You can make your own pound cake if you want, but I'm keeping it simple. I did pick up 2 just in case I decide to add a little bit more. These are 16 ounces, but you need at least 14 ounces for this recipe. You're also going to need white chocolate pudding. I'm using the Hershey's white chocolate pudding, and you need 2 3.4 boxes. So that is what I've got here, and you're just gonna make this, whatever way it says in the package directions. You're also going to need 16 ounces of Cool Whip, or a whipped topping. You can do 2 8-ounce packages if that's all you can find, but you're going to need 16 ounces of the Cool Whip. You're also going to need 18 ounces of fresh blueberries, and you also need 24 ounces of fresh strawberries. For the strawberries, you're going to take the stem off and slice these into thin slices of strawberries. So we're gonna go ahead and do that first. And that's all you need for this recipe, you guys. Super duper simple and absolutely delicious. You can also top it with some mint to just give it a little bit of greenery. And let's go ahead and whip this together. And I'm so glad you guys are here. My mouth is watering already.
The first thing we're going to do is assemble any of our ingredients so that it's easy for us to assemble our trifles. So I'm going to start off by making our white chocolate pudding. Just go ahead and follow the directions that are on the box, whisk it together, then pop it in the fridge to allow it to set up. Once you have that in the fridge, I'm going to go ahead and start working on our pound cake. As I mentioned, I'm using frozen pound cake, but you can make your own or pick up a fresh one. I like to have these down in my freezer downstairs because they're easy to use, and trifles are so fun to make for any holiday, and they're just quick and easy and so fresh for the summer. I'm starting by slicing mine in half, and then I'm going to start making 1-inch cubes. So I'm slicing it horizontally here, and then we're going to turn it. We're going to slice it vertically to give us 1-inch cubes. And I might have eaten 1 or 2 as I was cutting. So delicious. Next up, we're going to go ahead and prep our fruit to make sure you give it a good wash and a dry. And I'm starting off with my strawberries here. I'm going to cut off the stems, and then we're going to cut them into slivers like this. I'm not really sure how to describe the size of these. They're pretty small and slender. We're going to assemble these around the edges of our trifle dish, so you'll want to make sure that you've got some pretty slender pieces. Make sure that you wash and dry your blueberries as well and put them to the side for us to assemble. And now it's time for the fun part, assembling the trifle. This part is so easy. I'm starting off by putting in about half of our pound cake down here on the bottom layer. And you're going to want to just kind of mess around with it to make it as even as you can. You just kind of want that one solid layer. Make sure that you get your pound cake pieces all the way to the edges. And then you're going to add in half of your pudding mixture. So as you can see here, it's nice and set up now, and it will continue to set up in the fridge. I made this the night before, so go ahead and just add that in and spread it across all of your pound cakes so that everything is covered. It's going to kind of seep into the nooks and crannies in between each one of those pieces of pound cake. And now you're going to assemble your strawberries. So you're going to put these in however you see fit. You could do a fun chevron pattern if you wanted, but I wanted all of mine going the same direction and looking nice and uniform. So I'm putting them standing up, if you will, and just putting them right next to each other all along the edge of the bowl. Once you have your strawberries all around the edge of the bowl, go ahead and add some to the center as well. You'll want to make sure that you've got strawberries in every bite. So I used all of the ends in the center part here because you wouldn't see them, and left those nicer pieces for my next round around the edge. Also, go ahead and add in your blueberries. You can put in as many as you see fit and try to push them to the edge of the bowl as much as you can so that you can see them when you are looking at the side of the bowl. So that's what I'm doing here, kind of pushing them in between the strawberries because I wanted that blue color to show through the side of the trifle dish as well. Now it's time to add in your Cool Whip. So put in about half of your Cool Whip, or 8 ounces or so, and spread that all around this top layer here. Be careful so that you're not moving your fruit around too much, but you do want to just kind of spread it out as much as you can. And then we are literally going to repeat the process, starting with our pound cake, adding in our layer of strawberries and topping it off with our blueberries. And we are so close to being finished, you guys. Rewatching this back, I am, my mouth is watering. I'm ready to remake this again. I decided to try something a little bit different for this layer. I added my blueberries in right around the edge of the trifle dish before adding in the strawberries. And my goal for that was to be able to see a little bit more of those blueberries because I felt like that first layer we couldn't see the blue as much, and so I added those first all the way around, and then we added in the strawberries, and I think it pretty much gave me the same effect, but I don't know, it ended up tasting divine, so it was fine. Once I was done adding the fruit around the edges, I went back in and added strawberries and blueberries here to the center. And then you're going to top it off with the last 8 ounces of Cool Whip to spread all across the top. And to take this trifle from adorable to absolutely wow, we're going to go ahead and create a flag design here on the top. I'm starting off with blueberries here in the top left corner, and then we're going to half our strawberry pieces to give us just these little slivers, and we're going to add in our stripes, and you guys, our trifle is done. This is the cutest 4th of July dessert I've ever seen. Thank you guys so much for joining me in today's video. Hopefully you found some inspiration for a fun little treat for your festivities this summer. If you enjoyed this video, I would love for you to consider giving it a big thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed and come back for more, and I will see you guys in the next one. Have a great day, my friends. See you soon.
Hello my friends and welcome back to my channel. My name is Tiffany, and in today's video we are doing some fun patriotic 4th of July delicious little treats and cocktails for any summer bash that you might be throwing. So if you're here for it, let's go ahead and get started.
The first thing we're going to make are our ice cream cupcakes. Fun fact about this recipe, you guys, when I was first going through the Craftsy website and I saw this fun summer recipe, I instantly knew I had to do it. It was so stinking cute. And when I printed it out so that I would have the directions easily at my fingertips, I realized it was written by my sweet friend Lindley, who I actually have known now for almost 18 years. We were mom friends when our daughters were itty bitty babies, and they are now almost 18. So cool that I found that recipe and it ended up being from somebody I know. So So fun. That was actually a free article on Craftsy, so you can definitely check that one out as well. But in order to get a hold of those classes, you'll definitely need to be a member. We're going to go ahead and mix up our batter. I used that super moist Betty Crocker batter there. And I'm using these jumbo ice cream cones. These are all I could find at my local grocery store. And I'm going to put my ice cream cones here in my muffin tin. You can use crumbled up a tin foil if you need to keep them sturdy, but mine were perfectly fine. I'm now going to go ahead and add my batter here into this measuring cup, making it easier for me to pour into the ice cream cones. That measuring cup is actually from Michael's. It's so cute. I love it so much. You're going to fill these a little over the halfway point, 3/4 of the way, if you will, and these will be ready to go in the oven. Go ahead and bake them however it says on the package. I think I baked mine at 350 for roughly around 20 minutes, I believe. And mine, like I said, were jumbo, so they might have taken a little bit longer to bake. While those are finishing up here, I just want to take a second to apologize for my nasally voice here. I definitely am suffering from some serious seasonal allergies. I'm so sorry. While those were baking, we went ahead and started on our buttercream frosting. So you're just going to follow a traditional buttercream recipe. I used 2 sticks of butter, 2 cups of powdered sugar, and that was it. I did put in a little bit of dash of salt as well, just to kind of counterbalance all that sweetness. But that's all you're going to need, and let that beat for around 5 to 7 minutes on a super high speed, and it will get nice and fluffy and it will double in size. It's amazing how that happens. Once it's finished, I'm going to go ahead and divide this into 3 colors, red, white, and blue. So I've got 2 bowls there. I'm adding a little bit into each bowl, and then we're going to mix in some gel food coloring in red and blue. You can make this as dark or as light as you'd like. I wanted it pretty saturated, so I added a pretty decent amount of food coloring. Go ahead and mix that together, and we're going to put this all together in our piping bag to give us that swirl effect. In the original recipe, it does have more of a Neapolitan look, but to make this festive for the 4th of July, we're going to use red, white, and blue. What ended up happening, unfortunately, though, was that my camera did shut off and I didn't realize it, but I used a plastic wrap method where you put the 3 different colors side by side in some plastic wrap that together, and then cut off one end and put that into your piping bag. I've got a large star tip point there on the end, star tip, and that's what we're going to use to pipe on. It's a piping tip. I'm so sorry. I couldn't think of the word. That's what we're going to use to pipe onto our cupcakes. I went ahead and tried it out just to make sure that it gave us the perfect colors, and look at this, you guys. It is like magic, and they look just like ice cream cones. Once I was done frosting, I put them into the refrigerator to let them firm up so that they didn't melt, since they are butter. And then we're going to go ahead and get started on making our little cherries for the top. Now, I followed Lindley's tutorial to a T. However, I am definitely no fondant master. That is for sure. She definitely is. She has an entire book on how to make fondant cupcake toppers. I, however, am not good at these things. So I did the best that I could. I got my fondant and all of my tools at Michael's. I'll link everything I can for you down below. I wish I could have found the light pink color. Unfortunately, I could only find this hot pink color, but it did, work out for me. But I did follow the instructions and I think they turned out okay. They're definitely quirky little cherries, but they did turn out cute. Once those were done, I went ahead and added them to the top of our little ice cream cones, and these are finished and probably the cutest thing I'm gonna make today. Next up, we're going to work on some popsicle-shaped cake pops. I have 3 different colored candy melts here, all from Michael's, as well as the super cute popsicle form that I have right there in the background, the red one. I went ahead and melted down my candy melts, going to give those a good stir so that they're nice and soft. And then we're going to grab a pastry brush because we're going to brush this melted down chocolate into our mold. This is what's going to give us the outside of our cake pop. Now, I will tell you that after finishing this project, there are a couple of things I would do differently. For one, when you are putting your candy melt here into your form, make sure that you put a really thick coat. I did not do that. I put a medium thick coat and they did crumble. So you're going to want to put a really good amount of chocolate or candy melt, and that will ensure that your cake pops do not fall apart as you're trying to take them out. The other thing here was that I wanted to create one of those firecracker popsicles, so I did put blue on the bottom. Then I popped this into the freezer, took it back out, added the white once it was nice and solid, put it back in the freezer so the white could solidify, and then did it again with the red, and that gave us that triple color on those fire pops over there. I know that's not what they're called, but right now I cannot think of what they're called, and I know you guys know what I'm talking about. So pop those into the freezer. They do solidify really, really quickly, and while those are working, we're gonna go ahead and get started on our cake pops as well. The batter that I didn't use for our ice cream cone cupcakes, I had baking in the oven for our cake pops. Now, a quick tip for making a really delicious cake pop is to not let your cake fully cool. Let it be a little bit warm. That way, the steam from the inside of your cake will keep it really, really soft. And then we're going to use about 1/4 cup or so of the ready to go frosting. I like this frosting better for when doing cake pops because I feel like it's sweet, but it's not as sweet as a buttercream. And I kind of prefer that when it comes to the cake pops. So go ahead and stir that in. That's all you're going to need for your cake pops. These will be ready to go, and we'll grab our form and get these added in. Be gentle when you're adding in your cake because you don't want to crack your existing candy mold that's already in there. So I'm just very delicately patting this into our form, and then we're going to use the pastry brush again to add more candy melt to the outside of the cake pop. Don't add your sticks yet. We'll add those when we're all done. Once you've added more candy melt to the back of your popsicles, go ahead and pop these into your freezer and let them sit for about a half an hour to an hour, allowing for the cake pop to solidify. Once they're done, go ahead and take them out. Now be very, very careful unless you are really good about creating a good thick candy melt barrier, because mine, like I said, were rather flimsy and I definitely need to do this differently next time, but I'm just kind of pulling them apart here just to loosen them up inside the mold, and then I will very carefully pull them out. And then the last thing we'll do is add the sticks. To take these adorable cake pops over the top, we are going to add some of this really cute decorative ribbon that I picked up at Michael's as well. I love that gingham one there. I think it's so cute, and I just think that all of this ribbon is so sweet. So I'm just putting a couple together, and then we're just going to tie it around the popsicle stick for some added color and cuteness. The next treat that we're going to make is one of my favorites. It is so simple and absolutely delicious. I popped some kettle corn and let that cool, and then I'm taking that melted candy melt and I'm just drizzling it over the top of our popcorn in our 3 different colors. This is going to give us a festive sweet popcorn. This is so simple. Once I'm done adding all of the chocolate, I'm going to pop this into the freezer and let this cool only for a couple of minutes, and this will be ready to go. You could add in candy and sprinkles. You could add in peanuts if you wanted. Any other thing would be absolutely delicious as well. But for today, I just did the candy melt, and my kids were literally sitting there salivating while I was doing this because this is a favorite for us when it comes to movie night. To keep it extra festive, I picked up these little popcorn boxes from Michael's, and they're super cute in this red and white striped. Thought these would be also adorable for Christmas. And we're just going to put a couple of these together, and then we're going to fill them with our super cute popcorn, and these are ready to go. This is fast, simple, and very affordable. This next treat was easy but took a long time. I'm just going to start by saying that. But I found these really cute cookie molds at Michael's, and I am using the melted chocolate again here, the candy melt, and a toothpick to fill in the little grooves with the different colors. So to give your cookie a little bit of dimension here, you can add in the different colors, let that dry before adding in the next color. And this was tedious, very simple, just took forever, you guys. Like probably a good 40 minutes of this project just to make 6 cookies. Totally unnecessary, but they did turn out really, really cute, and my kids cannot wait to eat these tomorrow for the 4th of July. So once you have your first color done and dry, add in whatever color you want for the majority of your cookie. Spread that around, pop in your favorite cookie. I'm using a vanilla Oreo. Then you're going to cover that up with the candy melt, pop these into your freezer, let them solidify, and they're ready to go. Next up, we're going to make a super cute walking dessert. This is super simple. It's actually a pretzel cheesecake. Normally, I would do this in a pretzel bag with mini pretzels, but I couldn't find those. So today, we're going to use these charcuterie cups that I picked up on Amazon. I had these already from a previous party. Go ahead and start by layering in some pretzels here to the bottom of your cup. If you're using the bag, you can just open up the bag and leave it just as it is. And then we're also going to add in some cheesecake pudding. I pre-made this, so it was ready to go. This is just Jell-O, and it's Jell-O cheesecake pudding. So very delicious, so good on a hot summer day. So I'm just going to go ahead and stir this up and add a scoop to every single cup. To give this treat a little bit more delicious flavor, we're going to add in some pie filling in strawberry and cherry because I can never decide which one I like better. And you're just going to add in a spoonful or two. I kind of tuck it to the side here so you can still see your cheesecake underneath, but you can put more or less, whatever you like, or completely leave this part off and it would taste just as good. The last thing we do is top it with some crushed pretzels to give it some cuteness to the top. You could also add a little bit of Cool Whip or whipped cream. I didn't have any today, but that is also super delicious on here as well. And to make these a little extra festive, we're also going to add on a cute little flag cupcake topper that I also picked up at Michael's to just make sure that we tie in our theme of 4th of July. To To display all of our treats, I've got them set out here just like a charcuterie board with different things to give us some different levels. And you guys, this is so cute and ready to go for any kind of party, any hosting that you might have for the festive holiday. I want to thank each and every one of you for joining me in today's video. If you enjoyed it, please let me know by giving a thumbs up and leaving a comment down below. I would love to hear what you thought of these treats and if you plan to make any for your holiday. If you aren't subscribed, I'd love to have you subscribe and come back for more. I post 3 new videos every single week. And of course, I want to give a huge shout out to Craftsy for sponsoring today's video. Make sure you check them out at the link below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Have a great day, my friends. We'll see you soon. Starting off here in the kitchen, I'm going to use this sweet little United States tray that I picked up from Target last year in the dollar section. It's plastic and I love the color and shape of this. I just kind of lean it up against the wall here in the corner to bring in some color and, start off the theme. And I want to have this beautiful scale, this rusty scale up front and personal here in my kitchen. I think it is gorgeous. I bought it for like $10 at Scranton's, my favorite antique shop. I talk about it all the time, but I just loved that it was kind of red. I thought it'd be great for Christmas as well. I could bring it out for that. Valentine's Day, anytime I need some kind of red element. And I just love how cozy it feels. I'm also bringing in another one of those napkins from Hearth and Hand. I have styled these all around my kitchen and dining room. I love the stripes. The colors are perfect. It's like a really pretty denim blue, and I think it adds such a great little texture here, and I think that spot's perfect. We're just going to tuck in a few flags. When in doubt, tuck in a flag, and it will bring in the theme wherever you go. Now we're going to move into my little hutch area here. I love to decorate these shelves, and my goal is just to keep everything looking very vintage and very collected. So I'm bringing in that little blue picture there that I picked up from August and March. It's a sweet little home decor store down in Putnam, Connecticut, and I'm adding in a flag, of course. Moving over to the other side, I'm going to bring in this little sign here that says Home of the Brave. This is from Hobby Lobby. I got this several years ago, probably 6 or 7 now, but I love it. I love the little wooden frame. And then I'm layering in one of those old antique cookie cutters, the little star cookie cutter, just right there in front of it. And I think that's so very sweet. Constantly closing the doors to make sure that you can see everything nicely. On the other side here on the second shelf, I'm bringing in this little Old Glory sign. Love this. Again, from my favorite antique shop. And on the other side, I'm just going to add in one of those flags to the little mustard jar here. I'm leaving the wooden carrots. I just like the texture that it brings. And again, I have another one of those antique scales that I love. I have such a thing for scales. I have 3 of them right now, and I feel like I'm just going to start collecting them. I'm also going to bring in those little antique spice tins, and I started by having this biscuit cutter up here as well, but I did end up moving that at some point. It felt like it was just a little crowded up there, but now that I'm looking at it in this video, I kind of liked it. I'm also going to work here on the bottom shelf by just moving things around a little bit. I've got that little riser from Hobby Lobby and that little sifter there, which is also from Scranton's, you guessed it. And I like the color that it brings in. I'm going to put in one of these little firework signs here with that biscuit cutter, and that looks really sweet and vintage. And then we're just going to bring in this whole little vignette to the other side here with the little chair and the little pitcher from the antique store as well. Everything there for the most part is antiques except for the riser and the chair, but the little cream pitcher and the little copper pitcher, all of that stuff is from the antique store. And of course, we're just going to finish it off with a flag, and that looks beautiful. I'm going to bring in this towel that I picked up at Scranton's as well and tuck this into my mixer. I think that looks really, really sweet and very inviting. Moving over to my coffee bar, I'm going to start off with this sweet little tin that I picked up last year from Michael's, and we're going to use it as a vase. I'm going to put in these faux eucalyptus stems here. These are from, I believe they're from Michael's, and I just like the color. I have these kind of everywhere throughout my house. And I started off with this tall faux firework box here, but I didn't like the colors with the tin. And I'm also going to bring in this sweet little galvanized pitcher from Hobby Lobby, and we're just going to play around. I wanted things to have differing heights and, differing colors. But again, trying to keep in that vintage vibe and have everything look a little old, a little bit like it's been there for a while and well loved. And I think it turned out perfectly. Moving to the other shelf here, I'm going to start by fixing the little breadboard in the back. I like having that there just to bring in some height, and I like the warmth that the wood brings. That picture is from TJ Maxx. It just has a little chicken on it. It says something about country time. And again, I'm bringing in another one of those napkins. I like the blue color that it brings and the nice texture. I've also got some eucalyptus stems in there. I believe those are from Michael's as well. I like the dusty blue color of those. I think they're very neutral. And then we're going to layer in that antique book with one of these firework boxes, faux firework boxes. Those are from Etsy. And I'm also going to bring back that little faux pie. That is the pie that I made following Mother Time's tutorial. I love her little faux pies, and it's in a little antique cloche. And again, we're going to just try to bring in some more of those red, white, and blue colors. And I think this side turned out great. I love the whole coffee bar vibe. It just feels very pretty. And we can't forget about this sweet little peg rail here in my dining room. I'm adding this little heart from Hobby Lobby, and I'm going to move those little wooden measuring spoons over to the coffee bar. Next, we're going to work on my little tiered tray here in the dining room, and I'm starting off with these sweet little wooden spindles that I picked up from Antique Farmhouse, and I'm just stacking those in that little galvanized pitcher there from Hobby Lobby. And of course, we're going to bring in another one of those burlap flags from Home Goods. I almost said Home Depot. Definitely wasn't from Home Depot, but these are from Tommy Bahama's. I love these, and I think I left one that I want to bring into my entryway. And then I'm also going to work on the bottom part of my little tiered tray. That tiered tray is from Michael's. I picked that up not last year, but the year before around Thanksgiving. And I'm moving that little gold scoop and bringing in a copper Hearth and Hand pie server, but then I remembered I had these sweet little beads here from Hobby Lobby. Sorry, I almost said Home Goods, and I think that turned out really cute. We're going to bring in those little antique looking flag hearts that I picked up from Scranton's as well, from the antique shop, and hang those here on another peg rail. I love these peg rails. And we're going to bring in a blue towel for the stove to just tie in all those colors. And now that we're done decorating, let's go ahead and take a walk around and look at everything. I love how this turned out. And that's going to bring us to the end of this first early summer decorate with me. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video and found some inspiration for your home this summer. I love to decorate in the Americana style, and I think it just screams summer to me. So let me know your thoughts and how you think it turned out, and if you decorate your home in red, white, and blue for this summer. I hope you enjoyed. If you are not subscribed, I would love to have you subscribe and come back for more. I post 3 new videos every single week, and until the next one, my friends, take care.